to Braga. Touches it off for Shanklin, bit of space for Magnusson, who's looking for that full cross-field ball to Kizaridis. Kizaridis to go it alone. Straight at Bain. They scored a couple of absolute crackers at Falkirk earlier on in the season, if you remember rightly.
There's more good play from Hearts. Attacking play. Nice overlapping run from Milne just to try and create a little bit of space.
Milne for Kizaridis. Milne goes again, draws Allen out. Milne across, Braga, and then it's stabbed over by Magnusson.
He's getting towards the byline, an area where he's done so much damage, linking up with Kizaridis down that left-hand side. Takes a wonderful touch to go past Connor Allen.
Altena float that one in, flick on, and this could be awkward because Magnusson is on hands, and Hearts blast their way in front. Falkirk didn't deal with it, and Thomas Magnusson scores in back-to-back games. The league leaders in front in the Scottish Cup.
Well, it's scrappy, to say the least, but Falkirk are claiming handball. They're adamant. I don't know whether they're thinking that the big Icelandic midfielder controls it with his hand, or no, it looks like the Falkirk players are the ones that it comes off. Very scrappy, but it's a ball at the box, winning the first. No, that does not look. Again, that's not a handball from Magnusson. Perhaps comes off two Falkirk players' arms, but it's not the Hearts player. That looks like a good goal to me. First contact again, McCart wins it. You can see there, hands from the Falkirk players.
Was there that later?
No, I think it came off his thigh in the end.
Well, this is going to be overturned. It is not going to count. Thomas Magnusson.
I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I do not see where that hits off his hand. I do not see those images.
Lisa. It's been a really good attacking threat now. Can he pick out a man in the middle? He certainly can! Parkinson! And what a turnaround! What a few minutes at Tynecastle Park! Falkirk lead in the Scottish Cup against the league leaders, and it's Ben Parkinson, who's just arrived from Newcastle United, who scores his first goal for the club.
Very good play. Aggressive down that left-hand side. Spittle just can't get to him. Lisa's got a great turn of pace, drop the shoulder, and he leaves Spittle for dead. Gets to the byline, into a dangerous area. And then Parkinson getting across the defenders. Jordi Altena cannot get back in and cover it. That's a wonderful goal from Falkirk, it really is.
Milne. Chesnikov plays it off McCann, and it is a penalty! Well, the introduction of Islam Chesnikov may just have hauled Hearts back into the Scottish Cup.
Well, he's a little bit fortunate. Ricochets back in his path, but you can see there, he gets his body right across McCann. The defender can't get the ball. It's a penalty kick, there's no doubt about it. You can see the fullback sliding in there.
A huge moment. All the pressure piled on the Hearts skipper. And of course he can deal with it. Hammered down the middle. Hearts still fighting. Still in this Scottish Cup tie.
Well, it's a Hearts side that are full of character, full of belief. And the captain There's one that epitomises that as well. Makes no mistake with his penalty, straight down the middle, high. He gets his side back level.
Falkirk, of course, off the back of... Well, that's Kizaridis that takes it in his stride. Adams sliding in, and between he and Bain, they managed to close off the danger, and Nick Walsh points for a goal kick.
Well, Kizaridis is not impressed with that. It's a lovely take. I've got to be honest, I think Nick Walsh actually gets it spot on. You see that there, beautiful take in behind Keelan Adams, but he just stands on the ball at the end as it comes back.
Kizaridis steps aside. Blair Spittle just over the top. Certainly close enough for Scott Bain to worry.
Well, he's still down, Scott Bain. Oh, it does. It looks as if he just catches his head on the post here.
Going well on, but it was behind him. It was Adams, but only into Forrester. Gives it away to Ross. Scrappy in the middle of the park, but Spencer picks out a really good pass for McCann, who licks early for Parkinson. Will it drop for Marsh? Then he goes down. Schwolov with a massive save for Hearts to keep out Louis Marsh.
Well, the game is going right to the end. McCann, dangerous ball, and ricochets back to Marsh. It's just straight at the goalkeeper though. You can see the Hearts players desperately lunging in to make the block after it, but this is it, straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. If he gets it either side, it's probably ending up in the back of the net.
Faced by a bank of blue behind Scott Bain. Cabango fires it into the crowd behind the goal. They're not silenced this time. It's jubilant Falkirk fans. Covered every blade of grass across the 120 minutes. Tate with one strike. The net ripples and Falkirk lead 4-3. Harry Milne must score, and does. He does his job. Ben Parkinson, the man who put Falkirk one up, who was 4 minutes from taking Falkirk through. It rests on the new signing, brought in from Newcastle United. If he beats Alexander Schwolov, who has been yellow carded for his delay tactics, then Falkirk will go through. Ben Parkinson, the 20-year-old, he scores, and Falkirk are into the 5th round. And this season of twists and turns takes another major one. And Heart of Midlothian, the league leaders, are out of the Scottish Cup. It's Falkirk that triumph at Tynecastle. And the man that held his nerve, Ben Parkinson, scores his first goal. Falkirk thought they were denied, but they took it all the way. And that young man, with one calm strike of his right boot, has dumped Heart of Midlothian out of the cup and kept the Falkirk dream alive.
Similar, it won't just be a case of the Premiership side turning up and knocking out the League One side, although Calvin Miller might have something to say about that.
I think he might have been listening to you, because you were getting to your point there, and Calvin Miller picks it up, dances inside, great little shift, and we know he's more than capable.
But Spencer preparing to swing this in. It's over Jameson. It was his brother Nicky who was on hand to head it clear, actually. Bailing out brother Darren. Marsh gets it back into the area and picks up once more. Is there room for a shot? It's a rather tame one, but it might yet break for Graham. And a deflection, and Darren Jameson this time keeps it out. Miller! Darren Jameson once again with some heroics in the goal to keep his side on level terms.
The first one, I think, more impressive because I think there's a big deflection as it comes to him. Yeah, great reactions.
There's Broggio. That's a good ball, and Miller well off target. That was a good move from Falkirk.
Yeah, he's disappointed, Calvin Miller, but Falkirk now starting to get into positions where they look a real threat, and I can see his frustration, but it's coming away from him. He's at full stretch and he's just trying to keep that down, which it is difficult. He's under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, Tate tries the big switch out to Adams, who nods it down for Calvin Miller. Back to Spencer. Miller's a lovely chase down for Spencer. Agonisingly wide off the deflection.
It's a great little knockdown from Brian Graham. The chest on running Brad Spencer. Yet again, Stenny player in the way to get the block in. Certainly a little bit different. Buchanan getting across, getting the block in.
Well, things have really gone to plan for Stenhousemuir beyond the 70-minute mark, and still they haven't been broken down. But here's Ethan Ross trying to bend one in. We'll see him do that on a number of occasions and find the back of the net. But this time it was a yard or two the other side of the upright.
Yeah, seen it many a time, and his eyes would have lit up as this ball falls at his feet. Quick shift and hit, but doesn't get the bend on it he would like.
Miller swings it back post, and a downward header from Spencer, I think it was, who got the end of it. Held by Jameson on his line.
No, this time the delivery's in the area Falkirk looking for. Spencer just can't get the power on it. He's fine, rightly so.
Here's Adams in a decent position, picks out Wilson. Can he get the shot off here? Big chance for Spencer, and he sent it well wide of target from Brad Spencer.
I thought it must have taken a deflection.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
done that wide. Oh, was so good in those situations, Brad Spencer. Great technique. And he tops it. Doesn't get a clean connection on it. Great play. You see the desperation in the Stenny box. It's a poor effort. A man of his quality.
Yeah, that was the chance. Ethan Ross. For Brad Spencer, lines one up. Oh, that's a brilliant hit from Brad Spencer. At last, to break the resistance, is a pile driver from Spencer, who passed up a much easier chance just a minute ago. But he lets fly and finally gets the better of Darren Jameson and Stenhousemuir. And is that the goal from the captain to send his side into the last 8?
Well, we spoke about his quality for the chance that he had in the box. He was probably angry with himself for it. And Falkirk have probed, they've worked it wide, they've got crosses into the box. Very few shots from distance. And the space just opens up for Brad Spencer. It's such a clean strike. Across Jameson, always moving away from him. He's no chance of keeping it out. Such a good strike. And for how much Stenhousemuir had put into it, you were hoping it was a moment of magic, and that certainly is from Brad Spencer.
Spencer, having scored one, might be looking to create one here. It's him who delivers, and the header comes in from Barney Stewart, and that should be that. Flashing header at the near post, and Spencer adds an assist to his goal, and Barney Stewart gets on the score sheet. And Falkirk, having had to work ever so hard throughout the match to break Stenhousemuir down, now have the 2-goal cushion that should see them safely into the quarter-final.
Well, that's the quality that has been lacking from Falkirk in that final ball. Tremendous ball in from Brad Spencer. Great run from Barney Stewart, you have to say. It's a tremendous header as well. power down into the into the ground. Jamieson again, no chance. But the qualities in the delivery from me. Brad Spencer whipping that into the near post. Great header, Barney Stewart.
Yates back to McCann. It's away by Stevenson. There's Philip Lisa, he's been excellent recently. One of the real standout performers. Broggio. And Spencer, and the header is in! Barney Stewart! Right in front of the United supporters! And this dream season for him personally could lead to a dream season for Falkirk Football Club.
Nah, he's a man on form, Barney Stewart. Another one with an unbelievable story. And he's getting the goals you want your striker to score now.
Miller to Tate. Spencer back out to McCann. It's a wicked ball, and it's 2-0! And Finn Yates has put Falkirk in a wonderful position to get to the semis. 2-0 up, 20 played.
Wow, what a cross this is from Leon McCann. I mean, we're singing his praises defensively against the strong look of Stevenson, but this cross coming in is outstanding. The time of the run from Yates and the header, but it's all about the cross. I mean, they're so patient. Look at that delivery, right over the top of Chevet, in front of Graham. Yates just goes in, little glancing header. It's a magnificent goal.
Second goal of the season. Christian Trapanovski's down out of your picture just now, struggling for United as this goes from bad to worse for them. There's Calvin Miller. Falkirk are going to play on here. United down to 10. As the cross comes in, and Maynard Brewer into a fingertip to that.
Oh, not what he's intending. To put Maynard Brewer in as much trouble as he did. He's scrambling there.
Then needed extra time again against Stenny. Tate has got it through. Calvin Miller. Oh, and that's just gone past off his own man Stevenson. Maynard Brewer is mightily relieved that that touch has gone for a corner rather than a third Falkirk goal.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get back, Stevenson, Calvin Miller's no doubt putting his side further ahead. It's a great recovery and it's desperation. And it's again finding that spare man for Falkirk. They are getting dragged all over the place by Falkirk.
There's Ferry. Waters probably enjoying their best period in the match, Dundee United. Ferry's cross away by Donaldson. Get a chance to get back onto this, Will Ferry. Opportunity here, and a goal! Eskisen in first half stoppage time, and Dundee United are right back in it.
Well, you're looking for a bit more from Dundee United, and they've got a goal out of nothing, but it's about being persistent, it's about being brave and playing forward, and a good bit of quality from Will Ferry, and it's no surprise, getting into a great area, little cutback, gets a head up. It's at Scott Bain. You need to see from here whether you feel he should be keeping out at the back of the net. Probably, but it's a powerful side foot from Eskisen, and that is an absolute lifeline for Dundee United.
Strange. There's Calvin Miller taking on Chevy, another excellent cross. Well, this is the kind of encouragement Jim Goodwin will not want his players to be offering Falkirk. Here's Waters though. Sapsford made a brilliant run in the middle. He's onto it, and Bain keeps him out. Huge chance for an equaliser.
Waters and Sapsford linking up, something they didn't do very well in the first half. And Scott Bain coming out, closing the angle, making himself big. You always look at the striker and say you expect him to score, but full credit to Scott Bain.
Game's coming thick and fast for United. push by Satsford. Falkirk certainly thinks so. Lisa got it back to Bain.
Yeah. It's Donaldson off balance. Sure though.
Of course, part of the Scotland squad when James was there with Alan McLeish and Peter Grant. He's onto it here, immediately involved. That's clever, and that has stayed out. And quite how, we don't know yet. Here you go.
This little touch here, excellent from Johnny Russell. Satsford, great movement. He doesn't catch it clean enough. Comes off his heel. Sometimes when he looks in, that just creeps inside the post.
9 times out of 10, that's in the net.
Absolutely. Scott Bain.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry,
right on cue.
Assistant referee.
It's not a great challenge by Carestes, but he's absolutely wiped out Douglas Ross. And I'm afraid, Mr. Ross, you're going to be seeing this back plenty, I would imagine. And Yates, he's replaced by Henry Cartwright, who's on loan from Leicester City and scored a wonderful goal here against Rangers in what proved to be Russell Martin's last game in charge at Ibrox. Here come Falkirk, looking to finish it. It's kept out initially and off the post from Miller. Well, that would have settled it.
Yeah, I'm being harsh on him. I don't think the pass is on to Calvin Miller, and he's every right to go for goal.
It's difficult to resist it from that position.
It is, absolutely. And Miller at full stretch just can't. Chevy does just enough to put him off.
And they're going to be made to pay a heavy duty price for the way they started this game.
Yeah, they are not good enough in the first half, much better in the second, but the damage was done by Falkirk's performance in that first half.
Falkirk are Scottish Cup semi-finalists. John McGlynn having a dream season when they return to the big time for the first time in 15-16 years. A top 6 berth, all but done. And they are the first side through to this season's Scottish Cup semis. Dundee United are out, Falkirk are through. It finishes here at the Falkirk Stadium at the end of the first of this season's quarter-finals. Falkirk 2, Dundee United 1.